typing out the list, or you got all the topics?
No, there's
in
all
there?
the click clack is done. I got
Okay,
them
word.
all.
I mean,
They're all
sometimes
set
that's a
now.
nice kind of textural element to add into a podcast. Just a little,
One of these.
yeah, some ambient noise.
I was on the phone with my coworker the other day, and they were like, "I can't believe how loud your keyboard is." And I was like, "I can, because that's how a keyboard should sound."
Do you really smack it, or do you just have one of those keyboards that has like much higher letters?
I have like a mechanical keyboard. So like
Okay.
the switches for the buttons are just clicky.
I like
Honestly,
that.
to be honest, same. It's more tactile.
Mm-hmm.
The funny thing is that because the way it works is that there's different types of switches, and like the way they differentiate them is different colors.
Okay.
And I think the color switches on my keyboard like aren't even that clicky. There's ones that are like real clicky, but I think a lot of people just anymore aren't even used to mechanical keyboards at all.
Yeah, everyone has like the really low profile laptop keyboard they're working with mostly.
Yeah, which sucks because those are like gummy. Like it's just like little gummy membrane button.
Yeah.
I don't want anything that's a membrane.
Yeah, I don't like that consistency very much. It's kind of a little weird for me.
Yeah, no
Don't
thanks.
feel right.
Ain't right, ain't natural.
Do you ever go to the Discovery store like when you were a kid in like a local mall or something? Are you aware of it?
I have no idea what that is.
Okay, so there was a store that was associated with the Discovery Channel that would be in like local malls or whatever. At least they were in my area, and I think they were in other places too. But they had like these weird things that were like, they had a bunch of stuff that was like for children that would be like fake snow or fake sand or like slime or whatever, just weird kind of textural stuff.
Fake snow sounds like something that would like give you cancer 20 years later.
Oh, yeah, I mean, for sure. I probably got it too if it does, because I was all in it, bro. As a kid growing up in Alabama, I had never seen snow, didn't know anything about it. And I go to the mall and be like, yeah, this is what it's all about.
Dude, just like nature intended.
Yeah, well, basically, yeah. And they're like in post-industrial fake nature we're making. Like the fake trees that suck up carbon.
Yeah. Well, isn't that what trees already do?
Right, but I'm saying they're making fake ones now. Instead of just having trees, they're making like these metal ones.
Oh, no
thanks. There was a whole thing, like some Silicon Valley startup guy designed like a tree, and it's essentially the metal cylinder that goes up in the air and has like holes at the top of it. It looks like almost like a gun barrel, but just put into the ground. And it's supposed to be like better at taking in carbon than trees are, or something crazy. And they want to just put them everywhere. And it was like, this startup solution to CO2 emissions. It's like, so to fix the environment, we want to dig up precious material from the ground, fuck up the environment in like very real material ways, and then put these ugly metal things everywhere and probably take down other area that could be for natural stuff. And then we're all going to do this, what, for the environment, you're telling me? Like, it's retarded. But that's kind of what they all are. You know, like the trees that are on telephone poles? You've seen those before?
I think so. I've seen telephone poles that were made to...
That's what I mean.
To look like trees, which is weird.
Right. You're like, dude, everyone knows it's just a telephone pole. Even the birds. And don't trick them into sitting next to it.
Wait, okay, why would anyone need to invent like mechanical
trees?
Yeah.
Because these people are sick in the head. They're so backwards in their head that they think they need to they can do better than God.
These people literally are beasts of antiquity, aren't they?
Yakubian fucking foul creatures, dude.
I hate it. This is a direct call for violence against artificial trees.
Against Silicon Valley startup tree makers.
Dude, straight up, another thing, and this is insidious because it's really convenient for a lot of people. I'm taking a direct stand against artificial Christmas trees, like right now. People need to stop doing it.
I don't do that.
No, you shouldn't, dude. It's like a rite of fucking passage to go and spend too much money on like a fucking real tree, and then put like a little bit of like Sprite in the water so that like
Sprite in the water.
Yeah, you put a little Sprite in the water.
A little life hack.
Yeah, and the needles like it.
I never heard that before.
And I got to deal with my dog fucking eating the tree.
Oh yeah, dude, you gotta keep the cats out of the tree. You gotta make sure that
Yeah, the cats be climbing it. Dogs just be eating it.
Yeah, they're like, fucking pine sap.
I want to talk about fucking sickos.
And licking the water out of the bowl too.
And it's like he's got his bowl right across the fucking room.
Yeah, clean water.
Clean water without Sprite in it.
It's kind of like people that put cucumber in their water, or like a little nice little.
I hate that shit.
Yeah, for sure. It's like neoliberal lemon.
It's like neoliberal lemonade.
It's like, what are you doing?
It's like people are acting like it makes the water more watery or something.
It makes it slimy.
It does make it. That's exactly what it does, dude. You're putting food in the water. I don't want food in the water. Yeah, imagine if you went to an office. Imagine if you went to. They are separate. Imagine if you went to an office and they just had like a Hawaiian roll piece of fucking bread in the water.
Like, yeah, it's Hawaiian water. Now, if you had Hawaiian water, it'd probably have ashes in it or something. It'd be like charcoal based or something. God bless him, though. I do feel bad about that now. I just couldn't. I just said Hawaiian water, and my mind went.
That's exactly where my mind went to be honest.
But anyways, I mean, I don't mean to.
Whatever. They probably call us fucking howlies. Fuck those people.
They probably do, but I mean, God bless them still.
Yeah, God. I mean, they don't deserve to die in a fire. TBH. But
right. I'm not sure if anyone does.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some people.
I mean, some people are destined for it. Not destined for it, but they're headed for it.
Yeah, they're it's happening.
Yeah.
Whether they want it or not.
It's choosing it every second, every day.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
These people are sick. Here, let's toss on the intro real quick. Let's start the episode up, right?
Yeah.
These people are sick. This is obviously a very sick individual. These people are the sickest of them all.
They're the sickest of them all.
Are sick. They are sick. And you better get used to hearing it. These people are sick.
You really think it's going somewhere, and it really just doesn't go anywhere.
Nah, it just kind of loops, and then it's just like, oh, these people are sick.
It does just kind of. I'm starting to think that these people. You better get used to hearing it. To be honest.
You better. You're gonna be hearing a lot more of that. Well, I mean, maybe not, honestly, unless he's writing, jail cell soliloquies and stuff, because it seems
he's gonna be like Saint John of the Cross, fucking writing poetry in jail.
Yeah, dude, Trump's fucking Dark Knight of the Soul.
It is gonna be Trump's Dark Knight of the Soul.
Jesus,
dude, he's gonna come out having like had a fucking mystical experience, and that will actually be when the QAnon storm comes.
How based would that be?
That would be, that would be pretty sick.
That would be the shit, dude. If he came out and he was like dark mystic, kind of like, I don't know,
dark
he had some sort of
Trump.
Yeah, life-changing experience in the pen. He's like also super buff. He's been working out a lot.
He comes out, he's like, I did my nickel.
Holy shit. Yeah, man, dude, they're trying to throw the book at him. I had someone come over and they were like, did you see what they're trying to give Trump? They're trying to give him 720 years or something crazy like that.
Right?
Yeah.
Dude, he'll
all the
combined
get through
all of it, and day one when he gets out, year 721,
Holy fuck.
He'll fucking win the election.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Like animatronic Trump. Like he's been made into like a complete cyborg except for like his hair. Maybe a couple of things on his face.
The cyborg completely.
I'd like to see a cyborg Trump. I feel like that's kind of like, it's almost where we're headed. Not Trump.
That reminds me of that. Like that reminds me of like when he won. There was that museum that had all the animatronic presidents, and the Trump was just the animatronic Hillary that they made, but they just like remade it a little, like very slightly.
Yeah, he's got still like the little squat body. I mean, his body type is kind of almost like that. He's got a big dumper on him, like weird hips and stuff.
Trump has a sexier female body than Hillary Clinton does.
Yeah. Holy shit, bro. Man, Hillary Clinton.
I don't know. By the way, I suspect that there might be some background noise of like all the fans running in my office right now.
I'm hearing crackling more so.
Oh, that was no, that was me messing with a little plastic wrapper for a second there, but don't mind that. But,
that's me snacking.
yeah, don't don't worry about that. But
my fudge rounds.
Yeah, that I bought with my
Welfare.
check. But no, fuck. What was I even gonna say? Oh no, we're going through a hell of a heat wave right now up in the Great PNW, and it sucks. It sucks dick, dude. And so I'm fucking, I'm up in my office because that's where my computer is, but my computer makes the room fucking hot. So I've just got every fucking fan in the house just blasting on your boy right now. And my dog is up here and he looks like he's damn near about to die.
He's panting.
Dude, I'll take a picture of him right now to send you.
He's such a goofy little fucker.
Dude, he looks fucking weird as hell. Honestly, the thing is the joke is, but it's also like more than likely not even a joke. I'm like pretty sure he's pretty inbred.
Yeah.
And he kind of looks like it.
Yeah, he's got that look to him, No offense or anything. I
mean, no offense, but he's got that dog in him.
In a very real way, yeah.
In a very his mom had that dog in her.
My God.
Yeah, I'm sending it to you. Anyways, yeah, this little son of a bitch. Yeah, so anyways, that Oliver Anthony song, huh?
Dude, crazy. Oh, hold on. One thing right before we get into that.
Yeah, what's up?
Okay, who's that? Who's the lady that's the mayor of Chicago? Lori Lightfoot.
Lori Lightfoot, yeah.
Your dog kind of has a similar thing to her with the eyes that are kind of like buggy. I just thought of it real quick and I just had to say it.
Dude, he looks like the white Lori Lightfoot.
Holy shit.
He'd be looking like the white Lori Lightfoot.
He would do a better job with Chicago than she does.
Dude, he would for sure do a better job with Chi-Town.
But yeah, Oliver Anthony, dude.
Okay, all right, here we go. All right, you want to hear my opinion?
Yeah, let's go.
The worst song up. No, I'm just kidding. I like the song. I honestly think the song is good.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Yeah, I think it's a good song. And I think that it's just funny because like everybody's spurging out about it. And you obviously aren't on Twitter, but
no.
Obviously leftoids are having a meltdown over just the one fudge roll line.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. So I had never heard of this, obviously, and like no one. I'm not hearing about it in like I'm not getting a news alert or anything, and my friends aren't talking about it. So I just saw it on the list of topics. I Googled it, as per usual, just to give it a quick Goog. And the first topic I see is The Guardian, some kind of ridiculous shit. Oliver Anthony's song tells the story of a man struggling under Washington's thumb with a few jabs at those on food stamps. And then it's just, here we go. Actually, no, the real title was Richmond of North Richmond punches down, period. No surprise the right wing loves it. Matthew Cantor. And it's funny because he's in the song, he's talking about how they're kicking people down. The politicians are and stuff. And so this fucking journalist asshole is like, he's the one that's actually kicking down, punching down, not the politicians north of Richmond he's talking about.
I mean, again, it's just all about the one fucking...
yeah, there's just a one line. So go ahead and intro it for me, Slav. You can kind of cover it a bit.
Yeah, well, okay. I mean, there's the song. I mean, I honestly don't even know if I need to intro the song that much because I think everyone's fucking heard it at this point. It has 14 million fucking views as of today on YouTube, and it came out last week.
Is this guy does he have other songs? Is he a popular musician in any respect? Where did it come from, dude?
Well, okay, so that's another thing. So apparently, there's reasonable evidence that show that some guy at some kind of on some record label kind of tried to promote this song to try to you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's true.
We're trying to stir up a little bit of controversy around it so that people would listen to it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I guess. Or I mean, just around the promotion of the song and the fucking recording of it and all the release
of it. It's kind of like what we were talking about with She-Hulk and stuff like that, where it's
well, maybe. Well,
trying to create a big spectacle around this. It's not really the art piece it's much, but it's just more so what's happening or response to it.
I don't know. I mean, I tend to believe that there's somebody who's like trying to gas this thing up a little bit. And like,
Well, I'm just wondering, like, okay, how do like while is the song is not spectacular as far as like the things it's saying is not that much different than like there's a lot of songs that offer that kind of critique, and it's not stylistically like very more like groundbreaking or anything than any other kind of country sounding folk stuff now, and so like I'm just wondering like why does like all of these people like in the article it mentions like Jack Posobiec, that fucking retard, and other people like all tweeting it out like this is my favorite new song of the summer, blah blah this shit. How did they get a hold of it? Why is this all of a sudden just like how is it everywhere? It's not like it's that like groundbreaking of a thing to happen. It's not. I'm not saying it's a bad song. It's a good song. It's just like it's not that breaking the mold out of the ordinary. Like there's people that are singing about this kind of stuff in country type music and stuff like that for a while. I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe the specific reference about welfare or whatever is like incendiary in a way that other country music isn't. But I just don't see why.
And it's the Epstein reference.
Oh, okay, yeah, the Epstein. But still, it's like, is that why? Is it because it's just like paying? Doing a little bit of talking about these things that these people are, it's kind of buzzwords for them. And so they're like, oh, Epstein and this, and it's on my cultural side. So I'm going to really like press it because I'm not saying it's a bad song. I liked it when I listened to it. I'm just saying like, where does all this hype around it come from other than maybe it's just trying to be like controversial?
Yeah. I mean, I think like, okay. I want to get through the intro of the thing, but I think the main thing is like, I think that things can go to a certain, I don't believe in things going viral that much. Right. Mm-hmm. I mean, especially not with like the modern internet.
Yeah.
But like, I think that a reasonable amount of this can be explained as just like, it was just a good song that people liked and it hit all the right boxes and people started sharing it because of that. I don't necessarily know if there's like some think tank guy that supported it and fucking sent it out in some group email chain to all the fucking Con Inc. people and they started tweeting about it, right? Like, I think it might just things can authentically be kind of just popular, and I think that's kind of what's going on here. But I think that like there is a little evidence that somebody at a label or something had a hand in making the video and shit.
But that's just marketing.
Whatever, right? I mean, we both have worked in music and anyways, point is, so the discourse mills kick up into overdrive around this thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so obviously we know what the leftists are going to say, right? The leftists are like actually melting down about this. It's wild how much
it seems shocking to me. Just the whole, it's just crazy to me. Like I would get it if maybe a huge top like Blake Shelton came out and said that or something, or like someone that's like a bigger name, or like Morgan Wallen came out and made that song. People would get this fired up, but it's like to me, it's just like, does he have enough cultural like significance to warrant that response? And I guess it's just
now he does. I guess.
Yeah, right. Now he definitely. Yeah, now he does.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, that gets to kind of my main thing I wanted to talk about with it, but I don't want to get there quite yet. I mean, it gets to the fact that it's a cultural win for the other team. And that's really why, even if most people don't understand that that's why they're getting upset, that's why they're getting upset. Is that it's like the other team wins by having a song that people like. And so that's why you're paying attention, right? And by that same thread, okay, the last week, just the right on Twitter, like half of the people have just been like finding an excuse to fucking hate this song and this guy just for the sake of like having a novel opinion, right? And and it's like nonsense, right?
Sure, yeah.
And there's been some people who have like pretty correctly kind of just been making like the I guess like the case that it's like you need to be able to take a W. Right.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And okay. And I'll say this now. Okay. I know that this guy has come out and made a statement saying like, oh, like I'm a centrist. I'm the right nor left and all that. Like, I'm sorry, this is a right wing song. This song is right wing, in my opinion. Okay, like we know. Okay, like
I mean, it definitely is now. I mean, I don't know. That's kind of one thing that I was thinking back in my head was like, I wonder how he feels about the use of it, because like I know if I made something and all of a sudden fucking Jack Posobiec was posting it out like this is the shit, I'd be like, man, like I'd be happy that it's getting listens and stuff, but I'd be like, that's not what it's for.
well,
You know,
okay,
it's
so
not for
I mean,
you to
I
do
mean,
this with. It's for you if you resonate with it.
There's political labels as far as like intention goes, and there's political labels just as far as like what the political landscape looks like and who
Right.
talks about what. And
Right.
what I mean by that is that there's certain things that on their face aren't intrinsically right wing, but if only the right wing talks about it, then it's right wing to basically bring it up, and that can be used cynically, and it can kind of suck. And that's how I think of the Epstein thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that makes me sad to say that. And then there's
Yeah.
and then there's like the welfare stuff, which is pretty much through and through a right wing position.
Right. Yeah. No, I think that I was going to ask you what you would point to make that statement, and yeah, I think that's right.
And then there's the taxes stuff, which is a right wing position generally. Yeah. And then there is like and I don't want to overstate it, but like just the like young men putting themselves in the ground because everybody
military reference, yeah, or probably or something.
Well, not maybe even military. I think like MRA, like men's rights stuff, like manosphere stuff.
Okay, yeah,
right.
And deaths of despair and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. And like that's a right wing position, basically, right? And so and again, right? Like we can not love that it's kind of functionally a right wing position, but inherently maybe it shouldn't be.
Well, I mean, I think the welfare thing is right, and I think that you're talking about the stance on taxes is
both of those are basically explicitly yes,
right. But I also don't know if like the welfare thing is like, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of a tug in cheek kind of thing. I don't. But anyways, like
I think it's pretty. Anyways, point is, it's a fucking right wing song. I mean, it's fairly. It's not super obvious, but like it basically is.
I mean, it is. I mean, that's how it's being received, anyways. So it's functionally that's what it is. Yeah.
Right. And does that surprise anyone, really? Right.
No.
So yeah. So it just, I don't know. It got me thinking about, just this idea of like, okay, like can right wingers take like a cultural win? And this is part of the thing is, and I know that it can be a little eye-rolly to point this out explicitly, but what is cool and like chic matters in modern politics. And because the right is as basically as close to like whatever an authentic counterculture would actually be, you get people that like sense coolness in it. And because of that, like novelty has a real premium to it. Like novelty has a high value in right-wing discourse. And so like having said that, like on the right, there's just all of these fucking people who are just constantly trying to come up with this novel opinion about any given thing. And they just become fucking annoying contrarians. And that's what happened with this song. I think it's a good fucking song. I think the guy seems like a nice guy. Right? He seems fine. I don't fucking know him. I don't think that this song's really a big psyop or anything.
I just don't think. My thing was just I didn't know like what his background was. Like if he was someone that already had people that listened to him. If not, then it's just like, where did it come from? Would it be a cultural win as far as would it garner this much attention if it wasn't like, being shared by these certain people and then reacted to in a certain way? Like, I don't. But I guess that's part of the game nowadays, anyhow. So. I guess that's not even you can't separate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. My thing about it was, I think that like, obviously I think the song resonates with people. I think that it resonates with the people he probably wanted to resonate with. I think it probably resonates with him. So he's singing it. I don't think there's anything wrong with making art for groups of people. I don't, I'm trying to think. I was listening to a lot of Leonard Skinner last week at work. And I'm from Alabama, and I like Southern rock a lot. I like Leonard Skinner, etc. And I was listening to a live recording, and they're playing "Sweet Home Alabama," which is like obvious, everyone knows it, blah blah. But put into historical context, you're like, oh, this is actually a really cool thing because the song, it's like basically you're familiar with the song at all? Leonard Skinner's Sweet Home
Yeah.
Alabama.
Yeah.
So in the song, they're like, you know, I heard O'Neill sing about it. It's like Neil Young, heard him, put us down, talking about Southern people, because Neil Young wrote a song called "Oh Alabama," where he's like, basically like Alabama people are retarded. Why don't they get their shit together? Liberal kind of typical thing. And so Leonard Skinner wrote this song that was hey, Sweet Home Alabama, where they're like, actually, Alabama's the shit. And basically, fuck you, Neil Young. And that resonated with a lot of people because it was speaking to something that people were feeling down there, right? It's like, um, maybe the way they presented themselves wasn't, the way that people like. Maybe they didn't like the rebel flag or whatever. It's not the most like progressive or whatever, but it does represent a large people, and those large, massive people are the people that they're a part of and their fan base and how people are feeling. And so I think I don't think there's anything wrong with making art for that reason. And I think that like, I don't think that people should be responding. It's not for you, so don't worry about it. It's kind of how I feel about it with this response from the left. Anyways, like it's for these people. It's for the people that are liking it. It's not for y'all. Like, it's not supposed to represent y'all's values. So like, it's obviously not. It's not going to.
Well, and this is an interesting thing. Okay, yeah, there's 100% that, and I mean, keep in mind, one response I would have to that, because I think you're right, but one response I would have to that is that like mainstream culture is basically just entirely about just hating chuds. Like that's kind of just the whole thing. That's just like the bad guy and everything. Like honestly, to a further extent than communists were the bad guys in the 80s, right? Like it's in everything. It's in everything. You can watch a lot of 80s movies that have like nothing to do with communism and the Soviets. But one thing that's funny to me that I've kind of been thinking about, god damn it, it's so fucking hot in here. I have like a like a faux leather chair, and my shirt's off, and my skin is just sticking to it. Like, okay, welfare fraud isn't, my passion. It's not like my issue that I really focus on above all others. But I'm like, I don't, the reason I don't just completely shut down or spurg out when I hear someone talking about it is because like, I understand that like underclass people genuinely, and I've encountered this a lot, care way more about it than fucking middle class leftists do.
Yeah, of course.
They actually encounter it because they like actually see it, and leftists don't give a shit about it, and they react to it just horrendously because they've never encountered it, and it's just completely an abstract thing. And I think that kind of speaks to this thing you're kind of talking about of like it's just not of a world for them.
Right. Yeah. It's for a different world. Yeah. A different type of people, a different mindset. I think with the welfare thing, like, obviously I don't, love that. Right. Like I understand the frustration. I think underclass people, lower class people, working class people in general are for the most part, really hardworking individuals. And, most people have a full-time job, are pulling their weight in one way or another. And so Mike, you get frustrated when you see that there are other people that, because you're feeling run down. You're selling your body for time, your body and your time for money, essentially, like your physical well-being. And then you see people who are on like welfare or whatever, and it's easy to place that frustration that you're feeling at the situation you're in at them. Because they're not having to do it, and you see them, getting, they're not actually disabled, or they're whatever, like they're having all these kids just to get welfare, and then they're just buying TVs, or they're buying fudge rounds, or whatever it is about it. But at the end of the day, it's like those people aren't the reason why you're where you're at. And so I think that it's a misplaced frustration. I don't think that what those people do has any bearing on how your life is right now. And so I think that because of that, it's a way that they misdirect frustration that could be better aligned with the proper class analysis towards the structure and the, you know, the people that are actually more so causing this issue in your life. So I think that, like, in that respect, I don't like that line of thinking. It's not that I can't understand it. I definitely understand it. I mean, I grew up around a lot of that. And I think that I don't love seeing it, you know, but also it's like, what, it doesn't affect me at all. So that's the way I feel about it. And it's like, and I don't know, maybe people make an argument, well, it's your tax money and whatever. Fucking, they're gonna tax me out my dick anyways, and they're not giving them that much of it. Like, it's
Well,
not.
yeah, and I'll say this. Like,
Talk
I
about
think,
Ukraine before we talk about fuckers on welfare, dude. Honestly,
yeah,
it's
I mean,
just my thing.
no, I think that like a material. No, and I mean, I think I mostly agree with you. Like, the main thing is like, you know, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say, you know, that basically, when it's framed in like a materialistic way, it's not really a very good issue, right? I mean, like, bottom line goes, it's not really a huge you know, drain on the checkbook, right? I think it's more like a cultural conservative take, right? Of
Right.
just
It's like, we're working hard and y'all aren't doing shit. You're not pulling your weight. You're just
yeah, exactly. And like, in that way, I think it's like a totally valid thing, right?
I think it's just, yeah.
I just think that, like, you know, and I mean, it's hard to suss out where people are coming at it from. I mean, it's nigh impossible to actually do that, and people aren't. He's not going to fucking write in the song like, and just so you know, like, I understand
Right, of
welfare
course.
fraud
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
actually do a lot. It's just that, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's why I don't have a problem with it. I mean, because it's not for me, so it's like, that's my thing with it.
Makes me, honestly, it makes me think of, well, and in this way, I think that it does affect us, though, right? Like, I think the material aspect of it doesn't affect us that much, but the cultural aspect of it does, right? And I honestly, you know what I think of it like? I think of it like OnlyFans girls. Honestly, not a lot of girls on OnlyFans actually fucking subsistence wise literally need to be doing it. Like, if it's the difference between like starving to death and like debasing yourself by posting whole online, you like that's not a thing. That's not a thing. Honestly,
yeah, but I think the difference is
you could be on food stamps.
Right. Well, that's what I was gonna say. I think it's like, it's not about starving. It's about, like, do they want to go work a fucking 9 to 5 job at McDonald's or serving tables, and, you know, or do they want, which is drudgery, or do they want to sit in their house and take pictures of their cooter and post it online and make money that way, not having to do anything? And like, from that standpoint, I understand it. I don't think that it's good to do. I think that culturally it's not good. I think that pornography in general is an overall net bad negative.
Well, yeah, and I'm not arguing that like working a fucking shit job at, like, you know, at McDonald's isn't fucking soul extinguishing and bad and all of that stuff. But like, just like the idea that that's what your dignity and like the sanctity of your body and your sexuality is worth.
Yeah, it's fucked. It's terrible.
That's super fucked, right? Like, that's like,
it's degenerate.
I understand that that's the argument. That's like not a good argument. You know what I mean? And like, you know what I mean? So
yeah, but I was just clarifying that it's like, it's not like they're gonna starve to death, you know, if they don't post but they might go have the thing they're looking at is a life of drudgery, which is what most regular people have to deal with because they can't just post whole or post whole. You know,
well, I guess I could post whole.
Well, yeah, you could. I mean, or like, most people just won't because they have, you know, better like moral compasses, right? And I think that overall that's good to do. I think the class instinct is good, right? To an extent, being like, hey, you should pull your weight. We're all fucking working here. Like, I think in the right world, like, say, like, what I would think more workers' economy kind of based thing, there wouldn't be like a welfare kind of situation unless you're like, you know, there would be extended maternity leaves. There would be stuff like to help people out as far as social services, but there wouldn't be fucking welfare. Like, because you'd be like, no, you need to fucking work. You're capable. You're gonna work.
Well, and this
You're
is
gonna
one of
put
the
in
funny
work.
things, and this is one of the funny things too, is that like people freaking out about how he's punching down, and it's like, dude, like if you like Marx would shit on people like this too,
Right. Yeah, but
So,
these people
like,
don't give a fuck about Marx, dude. These are the Guardian riders.
no, well I mean,
And then all their little fucking foot soldiers that are after them that also have Marxist MLM or whatever in their bios
right,
that take
yeah.
the same talking lines from these fucking Guardian and New York Times assholes.
Well, and I guess just for the record, I think the reason why I bring up just the materialist argument of that people make about doing OnlyFans is just because we both know that that's bullshit, but people still make it nonetheless, right? And you know, so that's kind of just what I'm saying here. But
Yeah, I think people are morally like the capital has kind of eroded our morals in a lot of ways, and modernity a combination of the two because they kind of go hand in hand. And so like I don't think that people have this strong, like a lot of people have the strong moral thing that's telling them this is not right to do. So I think that that's like, I don't think there's I think some people probably, most people feel like that's not honoring yourself correctly. It's not dignified, whatever. But I think a lot of people, we've moved into a sort of place where people have loosened up their moral like constructs and like what they think is right or wrong so much. And people have really kind of deconstructed just their beliefs in so many things that a lot of these people aren't crossing that barrier of like, well, now I'm choosing this thing that I know is morally or whatever degrading or whatever to do this. It's just like, it's just an option of work kind of thing. I think that's the case for a lot of people, because I think that a lot of people honestly have this like morality is relative, and even if not that belief, they just don't think this is immoral. Which I mean, I think it is, but it's not. You know, I think it's culturally antisocial and bad for the culture and for society generally. But I think that a lot of people don't necessarily have that framework or ground base that they're working from, and so I see the reason why people go towards that. Yeah, most people don't have that, so I see why people. There's no incentive not to in that framework, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. You know, it's obviously not like an actual legitimate excuse, but it is an explanation for sure.
Yeah, right. And I don't think it morally excuses it, right? And I don't think that it's okay, well, we should let it happen or whatever. I think in an ideal society, you know, you wouldn't do that. And if you're raising a family, you would tell your daughter not to do that. Or if you're, you know, a community leader or whatever, you would take steps to try to make sure people have better outlets.
A healthy community wouldn't tolerate that.
Right, sure.
But yeah, so anyways, that's what everybody spurred out about this Ginger guy's song. And that's funny. And then Reddit discovered it a few days ago, and that was even funnier. And then Anthony Fantano put out a video about it, and that was very funny. The idea to me that anyone watches Anthony Fantano videos.
Dude, who is that man?
It's here also.
Oh god, I just googled it, dude.
That fucking faggot, dude.
I don't know. I don't like him. He looks kind of like Sean fucking King or whatever the hell that guy's name is.
He does look like Sean King. He looks like fat Midwest Sean King.
What is that physiognomy? It's not right. It's not good.
I want to be looking at it.
God, I don't like him.
What is it? I don't know. It looks like
it's like non-binary butch or something like.
No, it looks like a FTM.
Yeah, for real, dude. I don't know. I don't like it.
That looks like best case scenario FTM, and you can see like it's kind of like how like you see like a female to male, and like their eyes give them away.
Yeah,
you know that's how Anthony Fantano looks.
He kind of looks like Logic, which is not a good thing either.
He looks like fat Logic.
Yeah,
he's annoying as fuck, and I hate
him.
But yeah, hell? I mean, he put out a video, and
this is crazy to me. The response, like the whole thing is, I mean, I think that it's like I like the whole thing of like Richmond, north of Richmond. That's pretty sick. You know, fuck them, fuck the politicians, fuck these.
That's another thing. That's another thing. Speaking of Fantano, he mistakes Richmond, north of Richmond, to be like a coded Civil War thing, as opposed to being about Washington D.C.
Oh, fuck me.
I know. Well, it's funny because I didn't even really realize that at first, but I I honestly basically just figured, I was like, oh, well, there's probably just some town north of Richmond with rich people.
Oh no, DC, yeah.
And then,
I was just thinking about the good old boys the whole time, dude. I was talking about
totally.
Our conversation with them, where they were basically talking about anything north of Richmond is basically fucked. And yeah, they're right.
Yeah. So anyways, these people are fucking sick.
Yeah, I mean, I like the dudes. I like the sentiment. It's generally anti-establishment, anti-lawman, like anti-politician. I think that's like a good thing. I think it resonates with people. I think it's a classic country kind of trope to tap into, and I think that's good. And I don't really have a problem with any of it because, like, yeah, I don't love the food stamps line, but like, also, I don't give a fuck about it, and I think that it's not like it doesn't matter. Like I don't know. I think that's just something that like that's just something that's a cultural thing people think in this, like specifically in the South and in country music and like more right wing spaces, and so that's just like who it's for and who he's around. That's just like how they talk and what they say. So that's my take on it. It's a fine song. I'm probably not going to be listening to it a lot, but it's just like it's whatever.
Yeah, I mean, sure. There we go.
So yeah, that's fucking Oliver Anderson. Anthony.
Oliver Anderson. The discourse on Oliver Anderson is open and closed now. We've had the final say on North rich Union Army soldiers north of Richmond.
Those Union bastards, dude. I was getting kind of worked up thinking about. Well, I'm not. You know what? Yeah, I'm just not going to get into that. I'm not going to get into it.
You're getting a little worked up thinking about how we did you dirty.
Yeah, just thinking about Ulysses S. Grant. And,
my god, dude! Libs still be Ulysses posting.
God, they love him.
They love him so fucking much, man.
Anyways,
there was some recent thing. I mean, does that just randomly cross your mind in the?
Yeah, dude, it got under my skin because I was thinking about he became a president, and I forgot. I didn't even realize that. Like. He was a president, and that fucked with me because like, fucking carpetbagging ass motherfucker basically ruined the South. Like, then Reconstruction didn't do anything good for the South either.
You guys will rise again.
I mean, I guess yeah. I guess so. I don't know. I think we're doing a lot better than other places.
You simply have no option but to rise again.
I guess that's kind of the dialectic, huh?
That is kind of that is the Southern dialectic.
Well, I do think that honestly, the best course moving forward down the line would probably be some sort of more states, focused, like not states' rights and like the typical trope, but fucking a states' rights kind of republic thing where people.
I'll say it like this. I'll say it a little better. Fucking not to sound insulting. I didn't mean for that to sound insulting. But decentralized. Power needs to be decentralized in the United States of America.
Still, but still, power centers need to be decentralized, which I guess is what that word means. But still, like in a network, though, I think still a federation should still be a thing
for sure. I mean, we definitely haven't had a federation in like 100 fucking years.
Yeah,
or a republic. But I totally get what you're saying, and especially right now, like I think that just the centralization of the power structure as it currently is basically needs to be splintered up and shattered.
And I think it just isn't going to work culturally. And I know that's a common talking point, but I don't think it's going to work. I think it would be good to decentralize to regions or states, and then let people have free move, like be able to open up economic resources for people to be able to move to different areas if it's something that they don't really vibe like. If like all of a sudden now we're like, okay, the South is about this now, or like, these states are about this now, or Texas is its own thing now. If you don't want to be a part of that, you should be able to like go into the other place if you want to, if they'll have you. Like, there should be some sort of programs for that while it's fracturing up for like X amount of years, so people can sort out a little bit better, so that's like, people aren't getting stuck in or trapped in places that are not going to be necessarily great for their ends.
Sure.
But I mean, whatever, dude. That's fucking nothing. That's not gonna happen. So I mean, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, but it's fine.
It's fun to think about. It's like Risk or something.
Yeah. So did you hear about this FDA news?
No. Oh, I saw it on the list actually about ivermectin.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So all right, I'll be honest here. I mean, this isn't really something that I really care that much about, and I think you might be on the same page. I don't know. It doesn't really matter that much, but yeah, okay. So the FDA is now allowing, and forgive me if I'm fuzzy on some details here, but I believe what it is that the FDA is basically no longer forbidding doctors from prescribing ivermectin to patients with COVID, which was happening.
Right.
Okay. Interesting. Right. This is old news to me, and this is where I think you probably see it the same way. I mean, whatever. Like, all COVID is just going to be this slow rolling, like, vindication.
Nonstop. Right.
Yeah,
Dude,
because we were right about everything, and so
I wanted to talk about this. Good. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Keep going.
Yeah, no. So I guess I was just going to say, like, my buddy hit me up about it yesterday. And, he didn't really handle COVID all that well, but he's what I say with my other friend when we're talking about him is that he's the best a normie can be while still being a normie. And so he's open to it. He's dating kind of a schizo hippie broad now.
Nice.
And he's coming around in some ways. And again, like, I think all the normies are going to have their coming around moments. And I don't think that it's going to be it's not going to be worth much, but point is like, I don't mean to say that again. Like, this is a guy, I love this guy. He's a good guy, right? I'm not picking on him particularly, but he texted me about it and he's like, hey, do you see this? Like, that's pretty fucking crazy. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, par for the course. My fiance had, and it's funny because this was like an annoying thing that I had to concede was real. My fiance we both had to. She had long COVID. I think you know this, right?
I'm not sure if you mentioned it, but I feel like we talked about it maybe with CryptoSci a little bit.
Yep. So she had long COVID, and she was like losing a lot of hair for like a while, and it was a problem. It was horrible, and it was probably 3 months at least, and then like 3-4 months of that, and then 3-4 days of ivermectin completely took it out. 100%.
Really?
Completely.
What were the symptoms other than the hair loss?
I think it was mostly just hair loss.
And then after 3 or 4 days of ivermectin, the hair stopped coming out, or like
and then like any thinning that had happened just filled back in.
Really?
Yeah, straight up. And that's a pretty common thing.
Really? With long COVID and ivermectin?
With just long COVID in general is the hair stuff.
Oh yeah, but I was saying more so like ivermectin. Like, what's the long COVID thing? Is it still just in your body? Then ivermectin just kind of like knocks the virus out.
I have no idea what specifically long COVID really is. I just know that it's just fucked up. It's just fuct up symptoms that just stick around for a while. And,
I like hearing that. I'm glad that it worked for her.
Yeah, and like me too. And that's kind of the thing.
Fuck,
like,
dude. I've been thinning out a little bit. I thought it was just because I'm 26 years old now, and just kind of I'm just maybe being a little thinner.
The long COVID.
I don't know, man. I was just like, I've been thinking about it over the past few days because I just kind of noticed it, and I was like, I mean, I'm not like losing patches of hair or anything, but I'm just thinner, and I was like, is this just male pattern baldness setting in, or like, is there something going on, or like, what's going on? So I've been trying not to think about it too much because I didn't want to like fixate on it.
I mean, that's kind of the stage we were at, and I was, I mean, and I think a lot of the time without going too much into it, like, I think a lot of the time when you're having health problems, like, it can be too stressful for to think about directly yourself. And so, like, it was the situation we were in. I was just like, all right, like, you literally have to do this thing. This is a problem. Like, you're not doing anything about it, but it's stressing you out. Like, I'm making you do something. Literally, just take the fucking ivermectin. And and she never really wants to do that kind of stuff. It's like, oh, like, I don't want to have to take anything if I don't need to.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, it was literally like 3 to 4 days, and we had bought. So I'm an OG, and I did literally take twice. I took the dog paste, So I never technically got the horse paste, but it was green apple flavored.
Ooh.
So I kind of think that basically is horse paste, because it's like, what fucking dog? Like,
When dog wants apples, yeah.
no, exactly. Horses want fucking green apples.
Yeah,
Dogs
that's
want
classic.
this little fucking busta. Did you see that picture I sent you, by the way?
Yeah, dude, he's adorable.
This little son of a bitch. Now he's just laying even like with his on his back, just with his dick just hanging out. Anyways,
they love doing that, dogs, bro. It's crazy.
I know, dude. I'm gonna slap him on the belly. Hold on.
Well, shit, man. Maybe I'll get some ivermectin and just see if that does anything.
Yeah, so I mean, we bought like 100 pills or something off the internet from some foreign country.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like fucking Canada or something, realistically. But and yeah, just little paper envelope. Yeah, I mean, it's legit. It wasn't some sketchy ass thing. But yeah, it was just
some Reddit thread.
Yeah, but right, but I like a Reddit thread to donate to Ukraine. But no, man, like I took it, and I've taken it like 4 times. I've taken it every time I thought that I got exposed. I still never got COVID.
Really? I got it one time, or at least as far as I know. I had to go get tested because of work and stuff, and I got tested. And I don't like the test. I don't want to go up there and spend my time for it and then stick shit in my nose and my body, get my saliva and my fluids.
I just don't like that they're probably hanging on to that shit.
Oh, of course not. But I mean, whatever. They probably already got, like, I've been arrested and shit. They've got my fingerprints and everything. I've got, like,
Totally.
I've been at a doctor. I've had surgery. Like, I'm sure it's out there already.
They got you already.
Yeah, I'm in the system for sure, one way or another. And I never did the 23andMe stuff, though, so I don't know if they got, like, that. Like, you know, they just admitted to just openly, like, that is connected with a state company that just, like, they're just giving all the information to them.
Yep.
That's crazy. That's nuts.
I mean, honestly, the 23andMe stuff is fucking retarded.
Yeah, of course, dude.
I mean, I never even, like, I don't even think their tests are probably even that fucking accurate.
No, I think DNA is retarded, dude. That's my personal thing. I don't think it's nearly as significant as people think it is, as far as, like,
I think that, I think that, like,
results.
I think your heritage is cool and important. I think that the old fashioned way of doing it, of just looking in your fucking family albums.
Yeah, family tree, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, and just being like, oh, like my grandma was from Ireland, and you know what I mean? Like, that shit's cool. I don't need like some fucking Reddit brain science guy to be like,
yeah,
we saw that that Elizabeth Warren is 1.8% native, and anyway,
yeah, some spectral fucking DNA bullshit. I think it may be kind of useful because it proves that, like, at the end of the day, it's like everyone's kind of like, you know, we're all kind of all a part of the same thing. We are all a part of the same thing. So, I mean, I think that, like, when you have that more spectral DNA result where it's like, I mean, you're kind of everything. You know, there's results from way back to go back to Africa, or way back to go to fucking the Caucasus Mountains or whatever. I think that that's kind of cool if it can be framed and utilized in that way, but it's not. It's more so just identitarian bullshit. And that's kind of what sparked it. And it's actually just a fucking state surveillance operation.
Well, I will say, this is funny. Some state is like is trying to pass some law to make it so that, like, women need to take DNA tests to prove who the father of their child is.
Wait, always?
I think it's something like that. And
just on the birth certificate, it's like, before we sign this, give me a piece of hair.
Straight up, and like something like that. And the Department of Social Services in the state is like fighting it super hard. And I think some like feminist groups are fighting it super hard.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know how I stand on that. I don't know if that matters. Like, I feel like it's
a huge amount. So somebody trotted out this stat that was just like, you know, a third to half of people who take this test find that, like, the woman was being dishonest to the man. Now, obviously, the thing there is that it self-selects. So, like, if you're in most people don't enter into you get what I'm saying. Most people don't enter into a situation where they need to take the fucking test.
Yeah. If you're going to have a paternity test, yeah, there's going to be a higher percentage of it not being the actual father than just having a fucking baby. Yeah, definitely.
Exactly, right? But I will say the numbers around just like how often this shit happens
women lying to men and then having them raise kids that aren't theirs is shocking. Is fucking
Oh, dude,
it's crazy. And so
that's classic, bro.
that
That's
is
been in the
classic.
playbook for years.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's a tale older than time itself, brother.
Yeah, dude.
But and so in that way, I mean, I think a paternity test is completely. I don't see any reason to oppose it unless there's some, little minor stipulation like the bra's got to pay for it or people have got to pay for it.
I just feel like we don't need to be bringing more like bullshit into the family. You know what I mean? It's kind of my thing on like just more bureaucracy and more just steps and like systems and areas to like calculate and get information. Like I don't really love that. I think that it serves a good, like if you need to get a paternity test, if there's questions, and if you're a dad and you think a broad is like trying to get one over on you, get a paternity test right away. Like I think that they're good to have. And I don't really have any real like morals thing against having them mandatory. I just don't know that it's necessary. It's like I don't know. I don't know. I can't think of a good reason why not to do it, other than just like I don't see why you need to put extra steps and stuff into it and more areas for bureaucracy and government to really kind of step in.
Here, I'm trying to see what the fucking. I'm trying to find that post online again.
Who's doing it's like a male senator or like a male state senator or something that's like pushing this, or like a men's rights group or that's like supporting the bill?
I think it's just some normal thing. Like I think it's just a thing that's well, whatever. I'm not gonna fucking find it, and I don't want to fucking.
That's interesting, but dude, the ivermectin thing. Okay, so
yeah.
just to get back on that.
Oh, here we go. I'm sorry, really fast. I did find it, and just so it's here. Which is funny because it's literally guess the name of the account that shared it.
What?
Black millionaires.
Yes.
A new proposed law in Tennessee will protect men against paternity fraud, requiring a DNA test before signing and validating a child's birth certificate.
Yeah, that's who it's for.
And gaining any paternal rights. The state's child support office is not a fan of the proposed law. Black millionaires.
That's so based. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
I mean, honestly, again, we want to move back to that. We want to get back to the ivermectin thing, but dude, the system does really benefit women in this country, and
when it comes to like what everything, or when it comes to childcare or child rearing or like custody
and child rearing and all of that stuff. And so I do think that I mean,
do you think about abortion and the entire fucking argument and framing around abortion? Like the dude's not even remotely in the picture.
That's another example.
That's crazy. I mean, I understand the logic behind it, but it's nuts that you don't even like have an idea of entertaining the concept of involving the man in the decision. But whatever.
Anyways, ivermectin,
dude. First of all, I didn't know the thing about long COVID and ivermectin, so that's cool. I like that. I haven't seen anything about that anywhere, but that sounds about right. And I might try some of the ivermectin if you'll link me up where you got that order from, so I can maybe get some just to have around.
Yeah, I'll figure out. I'll have the woman figure it out, and because I don't know, she ordered it. Mm-hmm. We'll hook you up, dude. We'll hook you up.
Nice, dude. I'll get some from you up there.
Yeah, we could do that, or we can freaking because I'm not fucking using it, so we can either do that, or we can just show you where we got it. Whatever works.
Okay, word. Cool. Thanks, man. Anyways, though, what I was gonna say is the ivermectin thing it was obviously working. It's obviously not just a horse medicine, right? Like this is something that's really like it got turned into a meme, and when something's memeified, it's kind of fucked because there's not going to be any type of meaningful discussion that's taken seriously on either end of it. So as soon as it's like Joe Roganified and like horseified and like all this kind of circus spectacle is around it, you're not going to actually get people discussing what's really going on here. So instead you're getting this like, oh, it's horse pace, it's for horses, or it's whatever, when in fact like third world countries have been using it forever, and they still use it, whatever, and they were having success using it in Brazil against it, etc., etc. But the real nuts and bolts from like a I don't know, a more specific analysis of what's going on here that's looking beyond just the spectacle is that in order to get emergency use authorization for these fucking experimental medications that they were cooking up at the time and, stuff like that, they needed to, one of the requirements for emergency use authorization is that there's not another accepted use medicine for it, so that they can't say, okay, ivermectin actually works for this, because then they wouldn't be able to get the emergency use authorization. They needed to speed run their trials and push out these fucking vaccines to the market that they were already producing. And so they had to discredit any use of ivermectin. They had to not acknowledge it being effective against COVID, because if they said this was an effective medication, then there is an alternative, and they wouldn't be able to grant emergency use authorization. And that was a really important thing for them to actually be able to get it to market. And so I think that, and like be able to unblind the test and be able to not do long-term testing and stuff like this and rush the whole process, they needed that type of authorization. And so I think that that's the really big thing that was going on here. And FDR talks about it a little bit, so like people are speaking to it, but it's not a very big topic of conversation that's associated with ivermectin like in the mainstream at all. But that's what happened.
Sorry, you cut out at that last part there.
I was just saying that's just what happened, and people aren't really like associating that at the mainstream level, even though people like FDR and such are talking about it.
Oh, you mean not FDR, RFK.
Oh fuck, RFK, Jesus, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, okay.
What the hell,
dude? I mean, what happened with ivermectin is a crime.
Mm-hmm,
it's a fucking crime.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and here's the thing:
corruption up and down.
Yeah, and and this is part of the reason why I share my family's story, right? Is that like, dude? Okay, ivermectin is a fucking real thing.
Yeah.
Or, sorry. Well, yeah, obviously ivermectin's a real thing, but long COVID's a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
And people can struggle with it. I mean, to be fair, I think long COVID is also a little bit of an annoying person thing, where people just be like, "Oh, like I'm tired because I have long COVID." It's like, no, it's also just because you like don't go outside and like you like don't take care of yourself. But I mean, like more neutral shit than that, right? Long COVID is a fucking thing, and there's people that are having a fucking hard time with it. And the saddest part, I remember Glenn said this to me. It's like the saddest part is that it's like easily treatable.
Yeah.
It's easily fucking treatable, and they're just not fucking treating it because this fucking lie. And honestly, like I have to try to be compassionate about this because it's frustrating and it can be a toss up. But like even past this point, normie libs are going to have so thoroughly internalized the horse paste narrative.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying.
That this won't make any difference to them.
Yeah.
They won't take it, even if they know it's going to fucking help them.
Mm-hmm. They'll rather pay out the ass for fucking Paxlovid.
Yeah, which will make them more sick.
Yeah, make them actually have COVID again, not just long COVID, the real thing.
Exactly, the real deal. So
that's what's so fucked about the whole thing, dude. It's like, it's obviously that they had a material economic incentive that they wanted to sell this product that they were making. They needed to rush it out, and so they had to disregard actual human health in the pursuit of this profit for the thing that they were already producing. And so it's like, that right there is a clear misstep. That's a clear like mismanagement of what happened, and people died from it. Like, I think that overall the COVID was overblown. Obviously, I think there's a big narrative around it. I think that it wasn't quite as dangerous as they wanted you to believe, obviously, but people still died from it. Like people that had comorbidities or were obese or overweight, or even just regular people that didn't have any of that. Some of them died from it as well. And like, right, they should have been healthier or whatever, but still they shouldn't have died from some fucking lab made virus. And so people are dying because people were dying, and probably still are, or at least suffering with long COVID because of this fucking lie in the first place. And that is so fucking despicable. It's terrible. And the fact that there's not going to be any justice, it's very frustrating. And I think I think you're right about people maybe not associating this with ivermectin because they've so deeply internalized the horse paste thing. But I think that there's a high level of vaccine regret out there, even amongst libs. I had a friend come over. Who's a friend I haven't seen in a while, not for any reason other than that we just don't live close to each other. But he was in town visiting. And he came in, he's talking with me and my roommate, and he's like, "Hey, did either of you guys get vaccinated?" And we were like, "Nah." And he was like, "Yeah, man, I wish I didn't. I got vaccinated and just so I could like go out to places and stuff. And then like 2 months after I got the vaccine, they no longer were doing the vaccine passport. It was no longer required." And then my other friend who also got it for the same reason was like, "Yeah, dude, that's the same reason why I got it. I didn't actually want the vaccine. I just wanted to do shit." And like that's what they did with that. And I think that I think a lot of people have have bad feelings about what happened with COVID. And I think a lot of it's just simmering beneath the surface. I think you could tap into it, even in people who have internalized a lot of these narratives. I think that there's still people are still not uneasy or still uneasy with it down deep in their core because like it was orchestrated. And I think that like no matter who you are, no matter how brainwashed you are, there's something in your essence that's going to tell you that like that's going to be kind of slowly kind of tapping at you, just like this wasn't right. Something about this wasn't really right. And I think you could tap into that. I just don't know how to do it effectively.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of the mind that like with everything, like I think that the truth is getting let out slowly, like air escaping a pierced tire with a little tiny prick. And you know, you just get people a little more acclimated, and there's no big jump or anything.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that that's what's going to happen with COVID because I think it kind of has to in a way. And I don't really know how to quantify that because truth is defined by power, you know, culturally. But there is an X factor. There is some little X factor that means like you can't, the big lie, right? I don't know. You can't totally keep a total delusion going for that long. And so I think that people are going to more and more become exposed to the ideas that they were lied to. And I think it's more just like, more about like how patient people are going to be towards the excuse of like, but we just didn't know how dangerous it was back then. Right. And like, you know, it's easy to say in hindsight, and like never really making any kind of exception or giving credit to the people like us that were just like literally correct the whole time.
Yeah, like the ivermectin thing is a clear fucking, that's not about we didn't know how dangerous it was. That's about you knowingly disregarded what was a known like effective medication treatment against COVID, and instead you decided to send people to the hospital with no treatment and put them on ventilators and leave them to fucking die so that you could have a worse, you know, it looks worse, it's a little bit more scary and dangerous, deaths are going up, and so there's not an alternative medicine for it. That's not anything about it. It was scary. We didn't know what was going on. We just didn't know what the numbers and the data was yet. That is a clear misstep and something that I think you could actually prosecute for in some legitimate way. I don't think that'll happen, but I think that's one area that you could. Whereas like a lot of the like, oh, there's media paranoia that was kind of driven up. I don't know that you could really prosecute that in the same way because of the fact that people are going to say, oh, well, we didn't know at the time. And it was just kind of scary and we were all just figuring it out. But this, they did know. And they disregarded known proven treatments.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't discount their ability to just like, again, just be like, well, you know, you wouldn't believe it, but there was some reason why we needed to lie.
Yeah, different data said it was dangerous.
Yeah, and
of course, and I think that's right. I think they create this whole fucking mystification with this expert class so they can do any of that shit that they want to do.
Yeah, and I think one of the big things is just like that. Again, it's just the you know, feelings don't care about your facts, right?
Yeah, and
a lot of people get upset when they think that they like can't trust democracy in the state. and not in the ways that like the state tells them they can't trust the state, right? Like dim white people be bad, but literally like, no, we're lying to you about shit that was making it so that your loved ones couldn't see, their spouse in the hospital when they died, kind of shit, So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's the fucking They Live scene where put on the sunglasses, right? And they get into a fight because it's like it's painful to see. Yeah. It's painful to see what it actually looks like, Yeah,
I do think that I don't know. I think still that. I think you're right with that. It's like people, they feel their like foundations are crumbling, and then there's like a reactive response to that, of course, that's going to be trying to hold on to it because that's where you get your security from in one way or another.
Yep.
But I do think that ultimately people are questioning. Like, I think that there's stuff that still doesn't sit right with people. And I do think you could tap into it. I think that it could be done in an effective way. I guess that RFK Jr. is trying to do it. I just don't know that he's going to be able to do it effectively, and I don't know that he's doing it even the right way. But I do think that it's something that could be tapped into as a political motivator by the right people at the right time. And I don't think that anyone is in an effective way, except for maybe RFK. But like I said, I just don't know if he's really got it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I was talking to my mom about this today, and like RFK is a funny case because RFK is a fucking Democrat still,
Yeah.
And so like he supports like fairly late term abortion.
I mean, yeah, he's gay.
Yeah, he is gay, and shit like that. But like at the same time, he's like the only COVID candidate.
Of course.
And so I'm like basically gonna like support him by default.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I would support him over Trump because Trump was bad on COVID and he's good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of as simple as that, really.
Dude, not to get too far off topic here, but did you see that there's been a lot of talk recently? I've been seeing articles pop up on my phone about Vivek Ramaswamy, the Indian guy. He's like now polling second behind Trump.
Yeah.
Something like that. Maybe he's second behind DeSantis. I don't know, but he's
honestly at this point he's probably polling above DeSantis.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. But it was like, I mean, he only has like 6% or something crazy like that low. But still, it's like higher than any of these fucking scragglers. Yeah. DeSantis isn't doing well, though. But anyways, yeah, I've been seeing a lot of hype around him. And I've even been seeing some normie people that I know posting about him or being like, man, a world with RFK versus Vivek Ramaswamy is not one that I would mind too much. And like shit like that. So it's interesting.
Vivek's kind of funny. I mean, like, I think like as a person and as a candidate, I don't care for him really, right?
Of course.
But he's like really articulate and he's interesting to not to talk to. I mean, if he wants to come on, it'd be great, but he's interesting.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, he's interesting to like listen to.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, he's a fucking ghoul.
He's a reptile.
He's a capitalist ghoul, right? But I did see the video of him at like a state fair rapping "Lose Yourself" to just a crowd of just like white Trump supporters, and it rocked. And
I'm gonna look this up right away.
He did like the entire song. Snap
That's so
back
crazy.
To reality. Oh, that whole fucking thing, dude.
Oh my god, dude. Eminem, bro. Where did he go?
I don't fucking know, man.
I think it's a freak, Eminem, not Vivek. I mean, he's a freak too.
He's probably a freak too. It smells crazy in there.
Yeah, definitely, bro. But it's kind of cool how he's challenging the typical like look of who would be someone who's considered reasonably on the right.
What do you mean? The fact that he's Indian?
He's Indian and Hindu and this kind of shit, and he's talking about it openly, and doing like...
Bro, we were just talking about fucking... We were just talking about Dinesh D'Souza just the other day.
Yeah, but I'm talking about actual candidates, not just commentators. There's always been Listen, Indians are more conservative. Immigrants are more conservative. I'm not saying he's like breaking the mold. But I'm saying as far as like a big presidential candidate... the closest thing you've had is like Tulsi Gabbard, and that's she was a Democrat.
Bobby Jindal ran in the 2015 Republican primary. He was
Bobby Jindal. Okay, I'm looking him up.
It's a horrible name.
Oh, this guy! Fuck yeah, this guy.
Yeah, he looks.
Man,
like,
what a piece of work! Yeah.
I think he looks kind of like Vivek if Vivek like had been sick as a child.
Yeah, but he didn't get the hype that Vivek is getting right now in this moment. Is what I mean more so. And Vivek is coming out with this weird syncretism thing.
I open it. I mean, I don't know if he's really very syncretistic, really, but
no, but he's like getting people to like have more of a dialogue with like just wrapping their brain around that kind of, and I think that that's something that's like interesting. I don't know that.
Fine, I guess.
Yeah.
But no, I mean like God, now I'm just looking at pictures of Bobby Jindal.
Yeah, I am too. He looks so crazy, dude.
He looks weird, dude. He looks like Rod Blagojevich a little bit. Like he looks like a fucking Boston. He looks like he's from Boston, and I'm not going to explain further.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess yeah, he's all right. I mean, I think he's charming. He's
like Andrew Yang on the right.
Yeah, and I'll be honest. Like, okay, here's what it is, right? Here's what it is. Like, political, like, honest, and I don't even know how to qualify this. This is probably a cop out, but like, actual political analysis wise, I don't really like Vivek. Right?
No. Yeah.
I honestly, from a right winger, I don't like the "we're a nation of immigrants" thing. I like, if I'm going in for a right winger, I want someone that's literally just like, we're literally like a Christian nation, basically. Like, just go all the way in that if we're going right wing, right? Because fucking dude, immigration is like is a capitalist psyop, right? I'm kind of, that's kind of where I go with that. That might be a little bit of a hot take there, but
I know what you're saying. I think you're right on that. I think that it's like a little bit of riding the fence, a little bit.
No,
like
exactly.
The framing of it.
If I'm going right wing, I'm going like full Pat Buchanan. Okay, like I don't want to go like Mitt Romney, But
yeah.
But personally, and this is what I'll say, personally, as just someone that like plays videos and sometimes puts on YouTube videos to watch on the side, I kind of like Vivek. I think he's charming. I kind of just like him. And there were a couple of videos where like he went on the Breakfast Club, and like they were just the black people in New York that have the shitty radio station.
Okay.
And they just jumped on him like jackals. And like, isn't that a great phrase?
Yeah.
And
did he handle it well?
Oh yeah, he handled it very well. And he handled that really well. And he went on fucking... Do you know David Pakman?
I don't think so.
Google him.
Okay, David.
David Pakman's a fucking little fucking melted ice cream cone.
He looks crazy.
He's the class president version of Sam Cedar, basically.
Okay.
He's like he's fucking annoying. He's a little shit lib. I don't know if he's a shit lib, but he's annoying. And Vivek like straight up like called him like lazy on his show or something. And it was like, and he did it in like the way that like these like sicko like LinkedIn account personality people do it, where he's like talking, like he's like giving him like advice, and he's like, I'm gonna be honest with you, man, like building him up sort of, and he's like, I think you're lazy. And like, and I've met people like, and it's like, honestly, I was just like, I kind of like this, like almost kind of in the same way that like Trump is, you know what it is?
Yeah.
It's like Trump was our guy in that he was like a crooked, tacky, corrupt piece of shit, but he was our corrupt, tacky piece of shit. Mm-hmm. And it's almost kind of like that with Vivek, but for like PMC. You know what I mean?
I can see that.
Where it's like the guy, it's like we got a guy who hung out in the Verso loft now, but he like defends the claim that the election was stolen.
Well, that's going to get him in hot water. I mean, it always will, but I think it's going to be getting worse now with the whole fucking trial and stuff.
Will it be a bigger
positive for him?
Will it be a bigger deal breaker than Lose Yourself?
Well, I don't know. I think the Lose Yourself really got some people that were, on the fence to support the guy, honestly, that shows a good level of personality. He's willing to go out there, and it's almost something that I would see like at like a middle school gala, like a middle school dance or something, like that kind of energy. It's like a weird. What is he? I guess he's not a millennial, is he? He's a little older than that.
Vivek has strong Gen X vibes.
Yeah, he's like a Gen X. Yeah, yeah. Opinion. That's kind of like that's where he is with the Eminem rapping thing, where it's like that was kind of like maybe some hot shit when he was like 20 or something. So it's like I don't know. It's funny when you go out to like a bar or somewhere where people are socializing and you see people that are around that age and they're all putting on like their era music. And that's kind of how this hits me, and it's a kind of a genuine display. So I think that's a plus in his column. I don't really like the guy. I mean, I don't like any of these. I'm not voting fucking for these people. I'm not going to vote for a Republican. Maybe Trump, but probably not. I would vote for someone if there was, interesting, but I'm not going to vote for any of these fucking people. I'm not going to vote for DeSantis or fucking Mike Pence or Vivek, whatever the hell.
I mean, the only people that I'm going to fucking vote for is Trump or RFK Jr.
Yeah. I'll probably vote for RFK Jr. in the primaries or whatever they're called, caucuses, I don't know, and the things here whenever they come around. Well, I don't even know when that is, but I'll look it up. And I'll probably do that for RFK, and then if he makes it like president to that level, which I don't know if he will, I'll vote for him there too. But only just because of the COVID thing, pretty much, basically all. And even then, I don't really feel good about it. I don't know if I would vote for him, dude. I don't know. Something in me, like the vindictive part of me, wants to vote for him because I'm like, yeah, you motherfuckers, like, this is the COVID thing, and he's talking about it, he's tapping into it, and like, I think that you should be voting for people who are speaking directly to your interests. And so I think that's good, but also I think that I'm just uncomfortable with the way that everything's just been completely reframed now. And it's like, I don't know. I don't feel comfortable being like, all right, well, I'm going to settle with just like this guy who's obviously a fucking neoliberal who is like really just trying to get back to, some sort of re-embolden the middle class kind of vision of America that I don't think works or is real.
And again, and this is where like, I mean, I don't know. I guess like maybe I'm about to contradict what I was saying about COVID and RFK and Trump, but realistically, like I have to be honest about the whole situation and the lay of the land right now. The ideal choice is Trump. And like, I think that maybe kind of is damning praise for just the state of everything. But I mean, like Trump is the dissident candidate. And he's basically the only thing that exists in that sphere. So yeah, that's it. I mean, I would be conflicted when talking about voting. I would be conflicted in voting for RFK. I would not really be conflicted with voting for Trump, especially because I already did it. And it's just like, whatever. Like, we're here we go again. Whatever.
Reboot, yeah. I just don't think that that's anything anymore, dude. I mean, if he's able to run in the election, I don't see any way they let him fucking win the election. I don't know if they'll even let him run, really. I mean, I'm not sure how they couldn't.
Right now.
Right, yeah. I'm not sure. I don't know that the voting, I guess this was an age-old debate that we had previously on the Fed Post before the election ever even happened, but, like, I don't know that voting for him is going to actually get to the point where I don't think it's going to count voting for him. Whereas like, I don't think it matters to vote overall anyways, whatever. But I think that like voting for him, they're just going to make it look like however many votes they wanted him to get, period. That's the way I think about it because they obviously did it before. And I'll say
the same thing I said last time, right? Which is just like,
but still a fuck you. And it's still like, just one more thing they're having to change.
Yeah. Make them work for it.
Yeah,
make them work harder.
And it's also spiteful the way it's like, look, okay, well, it's like almost like when you get a ticket and you go and pay with all pennies or something. It's like, well, now you got to fucking deal with all these goddamn pennies. And so now you got to deal with knowing that I fucking am pissed about this. So now you got to deal with knowing I'm voting for this guy that you obviously don't want to win. So I think that's like, it's kind of like a fuck you. You don't have the cultural consensus that you think you have, like kind of showing thing. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I don't love the way that Trump kind of shifted the landscape as far as like when Trump got into office, now it's like everyone's just kind of worried about like just like anyone on the all the left, which was already a defunct kind of thing, like all kind of shrunk back way more center, and are just kind of like no one was talking about healthcare, no one's talking about any of that shit, any type of economic demands at all. It's all become cultural, completely across the board, and like I know that that's the case, like whatever. And maybe on the right, it's shifted a little bit more in the opposite direction. Things are kind of talking a little bit. You're getting some people kind of talking about like, I don't know, inflation or whatever, I guess. But it's just like, it feels like he kind of was a bit of a reset in a way where it's like, dude, no one's talking about anything fucking material at all. And no one has since he became president. Like it, I don't know. It's fucking frustrating. I don't think that it's like that clear of a delineation or anything, obviously, but it's like,
I don't think that that's like a thing wrong with him though. I think that that's just him, and I'm gonna sound dorky saying this, but I think that's like a shock to the system that he caused.
yeah, no, I think so. I think that it was already like, I don't know. I feel like they let him get into office the first. I don't think they really wanted him to win any of the times, but I think they let him in office the first time because it's like, it's just kind of, it's a reframing, I think, and I think that it's like, I don't know.
I don't think they ever want to let that happen again.
Right? No, not again. Of course.
But and I'll say my main argument last time for it was just that like, yeah, I'll vote for him to make it so that they have to fucking cheat harder.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I just don't. I don't know. I don't like how there's no one talking about anything that's material at all, and that frustrates me because I'm spending way more money than I ever have at the grocery store, and I'm making more money than I have in the past too, and it's not showing up in my day to day life. And it's like there's just, I don't know. There's things that are obviously going worse, and healthcare was a major fucking thing people were talking about, and whether you feel about that on universal healthcare one way or the other, at least it was speaking to things that regular working class people need on a day-to-day basis, and that was like a major talking point, whether it's, you know, people on the right combating it or people on the left, like whatever, it was in the discussion, and these kind of things are no longer anywhere in a discussion. And I think that part of it is the Trump hysteria that was caused, and like this kind of reframing where it's like now everyone's just like, well, I'm not Trump, or like I'm super, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just like, it just feels like politics is just gone. It was always spectacle and shit anyhow, but it just feels like it's just way more cultural and just like, I don't know. I feel like there was maybe kind of this weird bubble of a moment where like, I don't think that like the left had any promise insofar as I don't think Bernie was like going to be a savior or anything like that, but like people were talking about issues that were more material across the board, right and left, because it was a topic of conversation, and now it's disappeared completely. And it's, things have only gotten worse. It's not like we've gotten into a better economic situation where people are, you know, there's no one talking about extended maternity leave. There's no one talking about, like, you know what I mean? There's no one talking about the shit that, I don't know. I guess this is an old talking point, so whatever.
Yeah, but I think also though part of it might also be that like the economic future of the United States is pretty fucking dire right now. And so it's kind of hard to even, I don't know, the premise of some of those things might honestly be, but no, I get what you're saying. It's just maybe the current situation the current system as it exists, those are not viable things for anyone in the actual political machine to discuss at all. I think. I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why Bernie fell in line. And so that's where, like, I think, like, as it currently exists, I'm okay with this kind of just accelerating the situation of just like, let's just let it get more fucked up. With as far as the political process goes. But anyways, I do get what you're saying though. And I do largely agree. I think it's, yeah, but
I don't think it's necessarily like, I don't think that's something that Trump did or whatever, but I just think that it's like that moment was like, I think that was an important moment, and that kind of diffused it in one way or another. And I don't know that it was necessarily intentional. And I don't think it diffused it. Like, I think that it just kind of morphed into something different. And I think, and maybe it needed to happen. I'm sure it did. Right. Like, I mean, the left didn't need to be a vehicle to kind of carry those ideas. I definitely don't think the right is either. I'm definitely not comfortable with the right in most all respects, but definitely not as, you know, optimistic about it as I don't know as it could be. But and so that was just kind of a little bit of a frustrating thing there. And I think that I think it's a shock to the system that needs to happen. I think that like there's definitely I see your argument about the acceleration of just like let's just kind of it's a fucking shit show. It's ridiculous anyways, whatever. But it's like I don't know. If that's going to be the case, there needs to be some sort of pro-humanist, pro-working type of organizations to help people out through the shit show, and there isn't. I mean, people. I mean, the church stuff like that, I guess. But like,
that's not going to be a wider, big, centralized cultural discussion necessarily. I mean, that's going to be based on communities. But here, I feel us spinning our wheels a little bit on this topic a little bit because I think it's kind of reached its. And I want to fucking talk about the airplane freakout lady. You need to watch this video of this woman because this isn't something.
Oh, I've seen the video. That motherfucker is not real.
Yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I've seen that one.
Now you don't really need to watch the other ones, but there's one of her getting off the plane and talking to like police officers and being like, "You can't let that plane take off. You can't let that plane take off with that person on it."
Mm-hmm. I heard her say like when she's getting off the plane, she's like, "You can all stay on the plane and die, but I'm getting off this fucking plane. That motherfucker's not real."
Right. And then you saw. Well, I don't know if you saw it, but she released an apology video.
I watched that today. It's odd.
It is odd.
The pacing and lighting and framing and everything's odd. She doesn't look real in this one. Like she looks like super AI touched up or something, and like she almost looks not real in this video.
Well, part of that. I don't totally buy into because I've heard that theory and I respect it.
Wait, what
I don't
theory?
totally buy into that. Well, just the idea that it's not the same person or that.
I don't think that. There. No, I just think she looks odd. I think there's like a weird, like everything about it's a weird, like the way she did her makeup. I think is kind of odd. Like I don't think people know how to apologize in a video. I think that like that's a large part of it. It's just like how do you dress and handle that occasion?
Apology videos are a fucking like horror of modern
that's retarded
in the first place because nobody needs to go online and fucking post selfie videos of them apologizing to millions of people they've never met, and the fact that it's such a common thing just genuinely disgusts me. But no, dude, what the fuck was on the plane, dude? And why did she put up a fucking apology video? What is going on?
I don't know what the fuck is happening. I think she probably just had some sort of psychotic break. Like I think there are people in the world. Like I think that it's not crazy to think that there are like, skinwalkers, non-human entities out there, like ultra terrestrial kind of multi-dimensional things and stuff like that. I think for sure. I think there's like plasma bodies, whatever. But I don't know that that's what's happening here. I think she probably was just having some sort of mental break. I think some people are just sometimes a little crazy. Like I don't know. I think that it's a fun thing. It's like, she's calling someone not real. Maybe there's not a real person down there. I didn't see who the fuck she's talking about. I don't know if that's something that's been figured out. Because I'd like to get a look at what she's talking about, what that is. But I imagine she's just kind of having some sort of weird moment is kind of what I think about it. And I think that happens. Like, I think people, or maybe she was just being like, I don't know, she just got worked up and maybe she didn't, didn't 100% think that person wasn't really real. That's just kind of like the train of thought she went into. People are crazy, dude. And people get worked up on like frustration or anger or confusion. Like, they can work themselves into weird places mentally. That's what I think.
There is a 0% chance that she just got worked up enough to go up in front of hundreds of people on a plane and be like, that person next to me is not real.
Okay, well then I think she had a psychotic break because I think the person next to her was probably real. That's my take on it.
That's well, and I think Occam's razor, right? I mean, that's the simplest, most likely explanation, but I want to believe that person was
I want to believe.
I desperately want to believe that person wasn't real.
Yeah, I'd like to see what that person was. Did anyone ever get a photo, or has anyone ever confirmed?
No, that's the main thing. You know what I want? I want an apology video from that person.
Yeah, right. Sorry, I was giving off not real vibes, unreal kind of vibes.
Exactly, me when I'm high.
Yeah, sorry I was being a gremlin in the corner. Like, that's just kind of how I was feeling at the time.
Sorry, I didn't really exist.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. When I first saw that, I was 100% on her side. I was like, maybe there's someone that's not real on that fucking airplane. But then just the more I was thinking about it, I was like, this bitch is probably crazy, dude. Bitches be tripping. People are crazy sometimes, you know, for sure. And like, I do think that like psychotic breaks can happen in high stress situations if you're someone who's already like has a tendency towards that. And so I think like, and you're on an airplane, she could have been on any type of Xanax, any type of whatever. Dude, a lot of people take shit like that when they get on an airplane. Normal people, they get it prescribed for them. So
Do you
like,
think Shoddy was a little zanned up?
she was drunk, probably. People said she had been drinking. That's what I read in an article. People like were saying it on the airplane. So I think she was probably drunk and maybe a little off her rocker. Maybe took some Xanax or something. And I think that that can have a way of kind of instigating psychotic episodes or like things that are going to put you in that kind of more off kiltered headspace. And I think that this is maybe not a fun take, but I just think that's what happened. And then I think the apology thing, why the fuck did she apologize? And she didn't even really apologize. She was just like, hey, sorry I looked bad. Sorry I said to, like, you know, motherfucker. There was nothing about like, sorry I didn't think that person was real or anything. It was just
maybe she was just like doing it like for her career or something. Like,
I'm wondering what it is, because like I don't know if anyone even identified who she was until she made the apology video. Because I feel like that was part of the thing that people were like, who is this woman?
Well, that's one of the weird things. Like one of the like some like random like tech publication website. And again, this is just going to put more gas into my just like suspicious tank here. Like doxed her and was
what?
Like, she works for this company. Her name's like this. And yeah,
do you know what
like,
kind of industry she worked in? I'm not asking to
like
dox her or anything.
Real estate.
Oh yeah, I
yeah,
see
which is totally
the way she's dressed in the apology video. She looks like a real estate agent. She's probably in her fucking open house waiting on people to show up, dude.
Yeah, like straight up, like yeah, straight up.
Yeah, I think a couple things. Someone in the Discord asked, they said, "Fellas?" ? About the plane lady. I think she looks a little like off-putting in the original video. Like I don't care for like
she's a wood though.
Yeah, she's a wood. I think she's a wood in the apology video, even though she has a weird uncanny kind of thing going on in it. She's a wood there. On the plane, she has like this weird energy that I encounter. I'm gonna say this, but I don't feel good about it. But she has like a white trash kind of essence that it looks like on the plane. Like
It's
just the way that the midriff is showing and stuff.
Interesting. Okay, sure.
It's just kind of like I don't know, just the way that she's dressed is like a. I don't know. I've seen it a lot, and it's not really white trash. It's a thing that I've encountered a lot that I don't really love as far as like an aesthetic choice. So yeah, we're gonna do a quick discourse on the way this woman looks because we do that once every episode.
That's truly
pretty much.
What is the deal with this broad? Yeah, I love the take that we're somebody's favorite podcast on judging women's looks.
Yeah.
Well, no, you know what it is? I don't think it's white trash. I think it's kind of spicy BPD Latina.
Yeah, but she's not Latino.
Yeah, but I don't know. It just has that.
But I know what you're talking about. Yeah, no, but that's what I mean. It's like it's almost like a girl that's like white girl that hangs out with like Latinos or just black people or something. It's like it's tangentially that, but it's not all that. It's also like
she's tangentially Latina. She's politically black.
Yeah, I could see her having like a greased up curl kind of hair thing going on. Like I don't think that she does in the apology video.
Loudly chewing gum.
Yeah, hoop rings, big nails. Yeah, that's kind of something I read on her at first, but then when I saw the apology video, I was like, oh, maybe I was just wrong.
She's Latina coded.
Yeah, Latina coded. And also, yeah, the way she was using her hands felt that way too. Like she was about to take her shoe off and throw it at the guy, maybe.
Oh, for sure. Throw it at the fucking alien.
Yeah, the person. Who was it though? What was this person? Or this thing?
Lori Lightfoot. It was my dog.
I'd like that. Dude, a dog on a flight. How do you feel about that?
Dog on a flight?
Yeah.
I think it's probably fine, to be honest.
You think it's fine?
It's honestly probably Well, okay, think about it like this. I would rather have a. Well, okay, they've got to be in an enclosure. All right, like yeah, it has to be within reason. But I think. All right. Okay, it's an interesting question. Okay, and I'm gonna give a full-bodied answer here. Okay.
Okay, yeah. I
Babies
wouldn't
on
expect
flight.
anything less.
Thank you. Babies on flights suck. Okay, but it's an annoying, shitty person thing to do to bitch about babies on flights.
Yeah.
Because like babies got places to be. Babies got to make appointments, dude. They got to be on flights. They got to shift at their job to get to.
And their parents don't want them on the flight.
Well, no, exactly.
No parents doing that because they enjoy the experience or they thought it was going to be a good idea.
Exactly. Bitching about babies on flights is Reddit. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, babies are more annoying, in my opinion, than a dog would be on a flight.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of dogs. And here's the thing, right? Dog. I mean, first of all, they're not going to let a fucking big dog on the airplane.
I sat on an airplane actually when I was in a row with a guy that had a golden retriever, and it was not in a cage or anything like that, and it was in my row, and he was right next to me, and
was he blind?
No, he was a normal dude. It was like an emotional support, something like that.
Oh my god!
Right,
it was an emotional support dog, or was it like a medical? Real thing?
It wasn't wearing like a vest. Like it definitely wasn't a seeing eye dog. It may have been something I didn't ask. Like I didn't dig too deep.
Dude, can you imagine how fucking shitty that would be if the person sitting fucking next to you had a big ass dog with them?
Right, that's what happened. That's what happened to me.
Were you not able to like put your fucking table down or anything?
So it was a 3-person row, and I was on the end seat, and then he was on the window seat, and I don't know if he bought 2 plane tickets or what exactly happened there, but we didn't have a third person, so it ended up being fine. But it would have been a bitch if there was a third person. I mean, the dog was sweet. For me, it was a boost. I was like, oh hell yeah, golden retriever, good dog, America's dog.
Yeah, it is America's. Well, okay, I'll say this. I'm assuming that he bought the middle seat.
Probably so, but it wasn't a full flight too, so I do have to say that. So
okay, well, hear me out though. So that's legit-ish. Okay, emotional support dogs are unacceptable. Okay, like people, they get the gulag for that.
But people will do it. They allow that on a plane, an emotional support animal. That's a large reason why people do the emotional support animal, other than to get around the rent and whatnot.
Well, we need to stop allowing this. We need to just literally stop allowing this shit.
Right.
Because it's not appropriate.
And as a worker, it creates a weird situation. Like I've worked at a lot of places where motherfuckers try to bring in dogs, and like you can't have the dogs in these places. For instance, like a spa, or like my roommate works at a movie theater, and people try to bring their emotional support animal, their dog, into a movie all the time. It's like you can't fucking do that. That's not a place for that. But it creates a weird thing as a worker because it's like. It's just a bitch. Like it's an employee. There's all this weird language around it. You can't ask certain questions, and you can't really do this, and you can't do that. And people are gonna act like a maniac when you do ask them, "Hey, do you need that?" Or like, "Is that a real service animal?" So it's just a terrible situation to put people in, bringing your pet into that. I don't like it.
Honestly, more than anything for me, it's just like, I'm sorry, but like you. Stop cynically using the state to just break basic decent rules that we're all agreeing to. Like stop doing that. Like what you're doing is like you're cheating. You're cheating in the game, and the thing is that's antisocial behavior. And what you're also doing is you're cynically using just like human fragility and vulnerability to get what you fucking want when you just don't want to follow the fucking rules. And like, I resent that I even need to fucking say this because like, I'm not like a fucking rules fucking, hall monitor person or anything, but it's just one of these things like, no, you just don't get to bring your fucking dog everywhere. And that's just how it is. And I have a dog and I love him, even though he's, a little retarded. He's a little inbred looking, but like,
I'm sorry. He heard me say that.
He
But,
looked
like,
up. He's like, "What the fuck?
what?
Don't talk shit about my mama."
I didn't know. But like, it's just, it sucks, dude. Okay. Anyways.
Oh,
But
what's worse though, a dog, a ESA dog on a plane, or a fat person sitting next to you?
how fat?
Dude, I'm talking about fat person. Like they have a problem in the seats, and they're like, they're bulging on the sides of the armrests.
They be bulged up.
They be they be bulged up. Yeah, they're the kind that need to turn sideways to walk down the aisle.
And they're sitting right next to you.
Right next to you.
Well, okay. I haven't really experienced this before, and so I'll say this. I've heard stories of people that are so big that they're spilling over into the next seat,
Yeah.
being told that they need to just straight up get in
By a second.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
so I would say,
But they don't always do that, and so like sometimes it's a full flight, and so like sometimes they're just doing it, and they might get kicked off, but then it's a hellstorm.
I still, I mean, I don't have to deal with that for most of the flight. I would say I'm going to believe in these airlines that this is just not something that's going to fly. No pun intended.
Oh, but it is.
And
Dude,
so-
have you seen the video of the fat broad talking about how
They're fat.
airplanes, are like fat phobic, and like they need to start just making like make every seat for fat people and shit like that.
Well,
Like,
to be
it's
honest, I'm in favor of that. I want bigger fucking seats.
No,
Sure.
dude, I want something to make me feel secure in there, dude. I'm flying through the air. I know it's not going to help to have a seat or a seatbelt really if we do crash, but I want something that's making me feel good, not just like I'm loose in this fucking
Dude, I want to be
giant seat.
I want to be
dude.
comfy, dude. I don't want to be in a sardine can.
Well, I do want to be. I wish I had more leg room, right? I wish I could lean the seat back better.
Yeah.
I wish some things like that, but I don't want like a double wide seat because then I can't even reach the armrest. I'm not built big like that. I'm not built real long.
I want
or real wide.
I want a big old seat. I want a lazy boy. I want a lazy
Oh,
boy
dude,
seat.
yeah.
I mean, it would make flying so much more expensive. Anyways, I would rather do the fat person than the dog because I think that, dude, because I think people would know what to do with the fat person, but the dog is just like, well, I don't know. I guess we're just gonna let him fucking stand around staring at the wall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, what does a dog even do? Like, he just stands facing the wall or something. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
He just stood. He stood in front of his owner's feet for a while. The one that was next to me, and then it sat in the chair next to me for a while, which I'm not sure if that was allowed or not, but it was happening.
Well, I mean, that's kind of chill, I guess.
I was fine. It was a sweet dog. It was a good dog, but not every dog is a good dog. Not every dog that people bring in, because most of those owners, if you're bringing an ESA on a plane, you're a piece of shit probably. So you're probably raising a kind of a shitty dog. You could be.
Well, I mean,
you're
most of the person I think of when I think of that is like fat blue hair women.
Oh yeah,
with like little quivering chihuahuas that will just like bite you casually.
Yeah.
And if you get upset about it, the lady will just like have a panic attack and like yell at you.
I knew this one motherfucker, dude. He had these two big ass dogs. They were like pit bulls from Argentina, Argentinian Daga. I don't know what they were called. They're like something crazy. And they were bred specifically for like hunting down some sort of large game. Okay. And he had two of them, and he had them registered as ESAs, and they were not well behaved. And he would take them places and tell them that they were service animals, and then act crazy to them. And these dogs would jump at people and terrify people. And so in my head, when I think about that, I think about, what if he brought one of those fucking dogs on a plane, dude? If I was sitting next to that, I'd lose my mind. I'd be so mad. I would be saying this motherfucker is not real because I know he couldn't be doing this right now. That's ridiculous. That's what I'd be saying.
Okay, dude. That was our what's the deal. Wait, no, that wasn't our what's the deal with this broad. All right. Well, I want to transition to Lizzo, but before that, I want to do the what's the deal with this broad because we haven't done it in a while. And and honestly, I don't have a lot to say on this chick. You probably don't even know who this chick is.
I think we talked about her a little bit.
And we might have.
With, who was it?
I don't remember.
Maybe the Prudentialist or something we were talking about. She just doesn't look right. She looks a little crazy.
She looks a little tarted up.
Yeah. God bless her, though. I think she's a young woman, 20 years old. She'll figure it
God
out.
bless her. God bless this young woman.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
Let her grow into it, dude. She'll,
One Rachel Ziegler, which with the last name Ziegler, I can't imagine how she got a job in the entertainment industry.
Zogler.
No, but they
Oh yeah, we talked about her. This bitch looks crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's part of this new like physiognomy of like broads with wide apart eyes.
Yeah, what is that? You looking like a fucking flounder or something, man.
I don't know. I don't really even. That's not even the important thing to me. The thing is that watch interviews with this chick.
Oh yeah, her next to what's her name? The broad from Israel, the other zogged up broad.
Yeah,
Actually,
well, literally, yeah, Gal Gadot.
Yeah, that fucking monster. But yeah, she looked good.
Yeah, Gal Gadot as the fucking as the IDF GF. Yeah, no.
Yeah, she handles herself right, and this other broad's just like she's got crazy energy.
I've met a lot of women who have the exact same like software uploaded to have those mannerisms of the like kind of like head tilt and the like kind of like performative like social shaming smile, and like I fucking hate it. I want to launch these people into fucking space, dude.
Yeah.
And that's basically all I actually really have to say about
it. I hope she gets over that. Like, I think she's probably, she's a young girl. Like, let her, everyone makes some stupid decisions when they're young. They get caught up in stuff. They look a little crazy when they're growing into their skull structure. So, I mean, maybe she'll be all right down the line.
I mean, dude, this is just growing pains of, skull structure.
Yes, physiognomy growing pains.
All right. And so then, honestly, this might be the real. What's the deal with this broad?
Lizzo?
Yeah, why don't you intro this? Because this was your one topic you wanted to talk about. This was the one. For the record, every topic I'm not even taking credit. I'm just saying this is literally hilarious. Every topic was something I came up with, and then this is your one topic, which, for the record, will probably be the best one.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be anything, honestly, because I really didn't have a lot to say about it. Like, I don't have any good take on it. It's just absurd. Like, okay, so Lizzo, we all know Lizzo, big O Lizzo. She, big old broad.
Well, wait, is this the same broad that made all those other broads put bananas in their pussy?
She made the bananas go into their pussies. Yeah. So, which is, I mean, I'm not going to really unpack that one, but it's funny on a couple of levels. But so
on a couple, yeah.
She's a big old woman of color. God bless her. She
a walk.
Big old walk. She, probably about half a ton. Big old woman.
She's not skipping meals, we'll say.
No, she's not, and she's eating plenty of bananas, and so she's under a lot of heat right now because she's like a progressive fat woman.
Oh, she's under a lot of heat. Did she just walk up a set of stairs?
Oh, I mean, she walked up half a flight of stairs. She's taking a second, but
she got correction. She got up off the couch.
She's like, stairs are fat phobic, actually.
Yeah, straight up. She has one of those little chairs that goes up the stairs like grandparents have.
The old people fucking chair. So anyways, she got into a lot of heat because she went over to Europe and like on some kind of tour and hired all these backup dancers, and it's having they're all fat broads too, of course, right? And so she's kind of created this world of just having a bunch of other fat broads around her. They're like, she's like their queen, or like they're like figurehead. Like people, she's been chosen to be the figurehead for this type of person, and not even for this type of person specifically, but for people who want to glorify this type of person.
She's getting usurped now.
She is, and that's the problem, right? It's because like, she gets a bunch of fat broads because she wants to empower fat bitches that look like her or whatever. So she puts them on stage to be their backup dancers. Yeah. But when you do that, people are looking at her and they're saying, "Wait, you're fucking fat. You're doing this thing. We're not much different than you. Why am I not Lizzo? If I can be a backup dancer. I could be Lizzo. Like, what's the deal?" It creates a kind of a power struggle where it's like, you're opening a window for people to want to envy your position and want to step into that role and have incentive to do things to bring you down in order for them to be able to ascend into that position.
A classic fat bitch mutiny.
Classic fat bitch mutiny, classic like cancel culture kind of situation, if you will, where it's like, that's a lot of argument you hear where people are like, yeah, they just wanted to knock them out of the way so they could ascend in this, like in the
it's like a
climber's
ladder. It's like the climber's tool.
Yeah, so I think it's interesting because it displays that. I think it's also interesting because it's one of these situations where it's like she's put up as this icon of like acceptance and, you know, progressivism and whatever, but she's like sexually degrading and assaulting her workers, like her employees, and putting them into really exploitative situations. And she's a little bit of a freak, this bitch, because she's like, she's wanting women to put bananas into their pussies, into their coochies, which is weird, man. I think she went over to Europe.
I'll be honest. You know, apparently it's true. That sounds not even like a real thing.
It sounds like something a racist would make up about her, dude. It's crazy, bro. She's like, yeah, it's crazy. She's having her dancers put bananas in their vaginas, apparently, or wanting them to touch each other, like touch each other's boobs and like grope each other and do like just weird shit. So like, a couple things. This bitch is sick, twisted in the head.
Yeah, she's
Lizzo is. And I think there's a propensity to become twisted in that kind of like weirdly sexually deviant way when you are this type of person. Like when you're like fat as shit. Like when you're just like, when before she became queened, she probably had no type of sexual anything interactions. She probably wasn't getting prospects, right? And so it's real easy to become a sexual deviant in this kind of way, I think, in that situation, because it's like I find like a lot of like think about a bunch of girls I went to high school with that were like, you know, chubbier, didn't look great, and they kind of like started becoming like cat girls and weird shit, like just weird shit, or like all the people that become trans or what. There's a propensity to get into a weird kind of situation.
The sexual marketplace warps ugly people.
Yes, in a major, major way. Yeah. And I think that that's kind of something that we're picking up on here a little bit, in a way, because like, yeah, she's trying to, I mean, it's crazy, that kind of stuff. I want to look up what the rest of the things are about her. I just know she was getting a lot of heat. I didn't know why. I just heard Lizzo's canceled, and I was like, what? So I looked it up, and I saw the thing about the bananas and like the touching.
A titan has truly fallen.
Yeah, honestly, dude, it's I don't know, it's nice. I think it's nice. I mean, God bless her, whatever. I don't know, but I think it's nice to see every now and again it happened, the shoe, you know, fall on the other foot kind of thing, or what. Their other foot falls, or the shoes on the other foot, something like that. You know, when it happens.
One of those, a mixture of one of those, or all of them.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, apparently one of the funniest parts about it is that the main, I think one of the main accusations is that she's accused of fat shaming her dancers.
Oh fuck, yes, I forgot about that too. Yeah, she's like, yeah, y'all can't be fat as shit too. Like, like they're like trying to eat like a bunch of shit. She's like, all y'all want to do is sit around and eat fucking fudge rounds all goddamn day. Fat motherfuckers. She's like,
if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, you can't be my backup singer.
Are we making that the fucking title of this episode? 5'3", 300 pounds.
Yes.
Because that describes literally that's her backup dancers and that song.
Can you? Okay, hold on. I wonder if Google knows. How tall is Lizzo?
Dude, I'm looking at a photo of these women.
She's 5'10".
She's 5'10"?
Dude, fucking incels on fucking suicide watch after that.
This bitch is built, dude.
She is built, dude.
She's honestly, built like a fridge.
She's built like a fucking quarterback.
Yeah, no, linebacker, honestly, dude.
Yeah, she would actually make a terrible
big ass motherfucker. Yeah, dude, put her on the line. But I'm seeing this fucking conglomerate. It's just a bunch of little Lizzos behind her, dude. A bunch of women of color, you know, black ladies, women, whatever, and they're all big. And she seems to be the biggest, is what I'm seeing from this. She wants to be top dog in that way. So it's kind of crazy. But dude, there, like, I'm seeing a bald-headed broad. I'm seeing, you know what I mean? The fucking freak show back here. God bless them all, though. I feel bad saying that. But either way, either way, it's just
a
like
moment of reflection there.
yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't know. It's crazy. The whole thing. I hate the way that people act like she's some sort of fucking God's gift to Earth, dude. She's like in that it's empowering.
It's a little twisted up.
It's twisted. The way people put this pet on a pedestal and encourage this behavior, when at the end of the day, it's like she doesn't even encourage the behavior herself. And so that's kind of what I think about it. And it's like, I think it's unhealthy the way that people glorify her fat ass, because it reifies her being fat, and it puts her in a situation where she probably like wants to continue to be that. And like,
bro,
look at Adele. She got fucked.
That's true. Well, and then look at Adele when she appropriated black culture.
Yeah, she's on the chopping block. She got skinny, and people were like, anything we can do to get rid of her.
Dude, Adele's on fucking notice, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, look, like, I don't even know. I made it sound like I had something to say. I don't even.
There's nothing to say really about it.
Nothing to dig into. I did actually have something to say. It's kind of like ivermectin. People that are like peddling this bullshit about body positivity are literally like culpable for like deaths.
Obesity,
like it's not. It's funny, but also like in a very real way. It's like not a joke. Like
it's terrible.
It's unconscionable, like what is being done to these.
It's like a coping mechanism just created, but to like reify the system as it is. Like, people are obese and fat as fuck because the way we're living is fucked. People don't get the proper nutrition. They're not given the right outlets. People are lazy, etc., etc. People are living sedentary lifestyles, all this. And instead of actually addressing the issues, we should just normalize the fucking problem. And that's what it is every time. And that's what this whole progressive ideology, progressive stack is. For the most part, it's just running cover for the damage that's being done, that capital's essentially wreaking throughout the planet. And also just a cultural understandings and mindsets that are formed in this modernity. It's not just like the fat cats are making it so she can only afford shit that's making her fat. No, she's cultivated and made these decisions herself, but it's because of an atmosphere that we live in fundamentally, and all these other things too. But it's running cover for the actual issues that are present in society, and instead of actually dealing with them, it's just, let's just accept them and move past it to the next issue that we'll then just accept and move past, and then to the next issue when we keep moving our fucking goalposts. And it's terrible.
This is like what I was saying about abortion, where people are like, oh my gosh, this is such a loss for working class black women. And it's like, you know, you're like it's like the main issue for working class people isn't being framed as being able to have like as much enough economic agency to like, you know, live a comfortable fucking life where they can choose to have a family. It's agency is being able to kill the babies that they can't afford because they're really fucked in the economy.
Right.
It's a deep black pill, bro.
And that's the function that this whole ideology serves. And I think that's fundamentally my main problem with it. Like, I think that like some of the strains of like, you know, wanting to fight inequality and like justice and stuff like that, I think it's good. Like, you know, those who thirst for justice, etc. But like, I just think that like, yeah, I think the way that it's done is completely wrong. And I think that it's being cynically deployed in order to run cover for these things like you're talking about, and get us to just accept worsening conditions across the board, and celebrate it, like, you know, loving our own fucking cage and everything. So I think that that's one of the main indictments on it, and like obviously a clear moral failing on the behalf of these kind of moralizing, progressive kind of, you know, individuals.
Yeah, honestly, this is like the perfect time for this would be the perfect time for me to like transition into talking about how I just did like a 48-hour fast.
Oh, dude, God bless.
But honestly, I like am so fucking hot. I'm surprised that I recorded this whole fucking thing without passing out in this fucking hot box of an office. It's so goddamn hot, dude. I need to leave this fucking room, and I need to fucking go sit where my fucking AC is.
I feel you. I gotta do laundry and stuff anyways, dude. We could talk about fasting when we do the Patreon episode.
Yeah. That sounds great. I mean, are we
Let's
gonna
preview it real quick too, because like if we're gonna do the episode on Grizzly Man, which is what the plan is for everyone listening, the Patreon episode, if you're a subscriber, we're gonna put that out in a couple days. So if you haven't seen it and you're interested in listening to it and being kind of aware of what we're talking about, what's going on, go check it out in the next day or two. But yeah, that's basically all.
Yeah, 100%. And honestly, if you're listening to this, we're growing and we need your help. So share this with as many fucking people as you can.
Mm-hmm.
I broke 100 followers on Twitter. It ain't
Let's
much,
go.
but it's honest work. Yeah, man, just keep sharing this with everybody. Share it on social media. Tell your friends. Tell your grandma. Tell everybody, man. Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. I'm excited to talk about this movie. I just casually put it on I don't even want to know your takes on it until we start talking about it.
Well, dude, dude. If you have you seen Cave of Forgotten Dreams?
No.
It's another Werner Herzog. It was like one of his kind of big one of the big ones he came on the scene with. Check that out maybe if you have time in the next couple of days too, and we can kind of just do a quick combo, like if we have any time to work it in. It's not the primary focus, of course, but like we're talking Werner Herzog anyways, so we could kind of get into that a little bit too.
Dude, I'll check it out.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna get gassed up on Herzog.
Yeah, we could primarily focus on Grizzly Man though. But yeah, dude, another one I wanted to talk about in the future sometime, and I don't want to get too off topic here because I do need to wrap it up, but have you ever heard of the movie Fire of Love?
No, I don't think so.
It's a documentary about these two volcanologists, like volcano people, scientist people, and it's fucking incredible. Like the cinematography and stuff in it, it's so good. We gotta watch that sometime, maybe for the next kind of movie thing, because we did the documentary Grizzly Man, and it kind of makes me like just think about this one right away. And I think it's something that you would dig. So, yeah.
Yeah, sounds good, man. I'll look into it. Text me about it so I remember.
Word. All right, cool. All right, well, everyone, thank you for listening. We appreciate it. Yes, please share. And then if you want to come check out our Patreon, we discuss movies, other stuff. We also have more just regular episodes like this. And yeah, that's basically it.
These people are sick.
And that concludes this week's episode of These People Are Sick. Thank you for tuning in. If you liked what you heard, you could head over to our Patreon page, which is the home for bonus content, extra episodes, video content, access to our Discord, and more. That's patreon.com/thesepeoplearesick, and we hope to see you over there.